What up, boys? I'm gonna trade recap today how I took longs, and everybody was asking me like, how did you know like what was the bias for longs and stuff like that. So I kind of want to cover that today and give a breakdown and give you guys a better understanding on why I executed on longs. So coming into the day, what I want to do here is completely X all this out. Coming into the day, I want to come right back to market open and look at it from there. So coming into the market open, we had external and internal SMT. We had SMT at these highs with ES. ES had swept all this out. We had relatively equal lows with London, which was also the monthly gap. Was monthly, daily, everything was right here. Obviously the weekly low. So monthly gap right here. So coming into the day, I mean, the draw is pretty obvious, okay? If we're looking at it from right here, the draw is significantly obvious. Like, there's really no reason to have any long bias. Now, what we can see is that we do have an unbalanced leg, okay? So from previous day, we had sold off with 0 rebalance, okay? What did we do on the way down to this monthly gap? We generated liquidity, okay? We have generated liquidity back to balance this range. We haven't bounced back to EQ. Now, where do we usually get our rebalances in draw or in a trend, right? When we're in bearish trend, where do we usually get our rebalances? We get them after we sweep significant liquidity, okay? So after we sweep out a significant liquidity or a significant level, that's usually when we get our rebalance. So I was bearish to these lows, and then I wanted to catch longs from those lows, okay? So we are going to talk about the 2 trades I took. I ended up taking 2 trades. 1 loss, 1 win. So I know a lot of people took this short. This is just 1 minute continuation. Don't hate it. Obviously, the draw is pretty obvious. So yeah, there's our London low. Now we bleed a lot lower than that, but we were still holding the daily, okay? This is the long that I took originally. I liked how we had the 930 wick. And obviously my narrative was bullish. So I wanted to see longs from here. Now I could have waited for some more structure because, you know, this obviously fails. Now here's what I would have said about this. You're in the 950 macro. I probably should have waited till 10 a.m., which I didn't, and I lost, but it was a small loss nonetheless. And then we ended up SMTing this low. Now from here, we had unmitigated 15-minute gap as well above. Okay, so we edged this 15-minute gap. So we had this unmitigated 15-minute gap. So we had SMT, we had relatively equal highs right here, and we had the unmitigated 15-minute gap. So now I'm looking for some sort of trigger entry to take this. If we look at the daily, we're still in that daily. We're tapping into that daily OB as well. You know, obviously until this candle closes, I'm not going to be completely bearish, right? If we look at the daily, this looks like a rebalance, right? I do think we can go lower before going higher, but in terms of executing in the intraday, this is what I was looking for. So obviously we have the SMT. We start to kind of show some resistance. Then we get our change in state of delivery right here. Now, if you wanted a true change in state of delivery, up here would be better, right? Because this is more confident, right? This is kind of a cheeky CISD, but I did like the volume. We come back down, retest it, and then get a strong follow through. So this is where I took my entry. Stop set the low. I took this back to the 15-minute for 1-to-1. And that played out for a lot more than 1-to-1. Could have held this all the way to 930 wick. Plays out all the way to 930 wick. This played out to a 3RR. If you would have took down here, obviously would have got a lot better entry. But overall, that is why I took this long. Now, through time and discretion, you will be able to build this discretion. You have to have narrative, right? I had a narrative, okay? Like I previously talked about, when are we going to rebalance legs? Well, when we take significant draws on liquidity, okay? I knew that we probably weren't going to get a continuation from here. I knew this was just a fake out. It wasn't the cleanest, but I knew this was a fake out. We edged the 15-minute gap. Okay, we have the 930 wick still. So, you know, this was my ultimate, overall bias, because I knew this is probably a fake out. Everybody's thinking, all right, continue short, right? We're continuing trend, but really higher time frame narrative. We hit the daily gap, hit the monthly gap. We need to rebalance this overall leg from overnight, right? This is also can be looked at as some sort of accumulation AMD model, okay? AMD, accumulation, manipulate down into the monthly gap, and now we're getting distribution to rebalance this overall leg. And that is why I executed on longs today. If you guys have any questions in the Discord, please ask me. I can help you guys out and let you see it through my lens. But yeah,